Welcome back to a Detroit Tigers Out of the Park 24 sim. We're in July 2026. We left off last time in June of 2026. If you haven't watched previous videos, welcome. Hop right in. It's 2026 and we're nearing the trade deadline. The Detroit Tigers are 53 and 38. They're 3.5 games out of first place behind the Twins. You can see that this .582 winning percentage, we would be first in the AL East, we'd be first in the AL West, we'd be first in the NL West, we'd be third in the NL Central, and we'd be first in the NL East. So really the two Central divisions are carrying the league here. We've got a pretty comfy lead in the wild card. I mean, 6 games on the, well, I guess actually only a couple games because the Yankees and Red Sox are tied. So if both of them caught us, then we'd be in fourth. So we've got some work to do to get this team better. Expanded standings-wise, looking decent. +2 of our Pythagorean. Our run differential is +50. I'm surprised that our differential isn't more because we're 19 and 8 in one-run games. So normally, when you have that good of a record in one-run games, you would be outperforming your Pythagorean record by a lot more than that. Hitting side of things, let's get into it. Riley Green having another MVP level season. Justin Henry Malloy an all-star level season. Jung-Hoo Lee earning his contract. We called up David Garcia because Dylan Dingler was just putting up like a 30 WRC plus. The thing about Garcia is, though, he's not as good of a catcher. He's already cost us 1.5 runs with his framing. His zone rating is negative. I don't know. I really prefer a good defensive catcher. I think eventually where I'm going to get here is Garcia and Dingler on the roster. McGuire is a captain. That's why he's still around. But I think we'll see what we do at the deadline. But I think we'll still have captains on our team, and we can probably get rid of McGuire. Kevin Made is having a great season. And then we get into like all the guys who we wanted to step up at like first base, DH, bench bat this year. And they're all doing fine, but not good enough for a team that wants to have World Series aspirations. Pacheco, Leto, Auer, and Horvath, all between a 96 to 99 WRC plus. Auer, of course, has been really good since a terrible April. You can see, I mean, he's going to keep a job. It's just where is he going to keep the job? And, should he really play versus righties when he only puts up a 76 WRC plus against them while he mashes lefties, right? So, yeah, I think Auer will probably keep a job, and Pacheco, Leto, Horvath, none of them have like done themselves any harm in like our long-term outlook, but it just hasn't been good enough for the stretch run this year. We need a hired gun in here. Carlos Pellegrin has really cooled off down to an 84 WRC plus. He did at one point have, in June he had 26 plate appearances, and his BABIP was 0. I mean, he did strike out in 34% of those plate appearances, so he wasn't putting enough balls in play. But I mean, his BABIP was 0. Like some bad luck there, but he just hasn't been as good since a good April and good May. Parker Meadows, maybe this. Let's go to just Major League. Maybe this 2025 season, it's looking more like a career year, an aberration, an outlier, whatever you want to call it. But still a really good fielding center fielder. Really good fielding center fielder, according to my scout. His zone rating's fine this year at 1.1, but disappointing year from him. Let's call it that. Not as disappointing as Ozzy Albies. I think second base is somewhere we've got to upgrade. Reese McGuire, we talked about him. Albies is 76 WRC plus. Now, Spencer Torkelson has been just as bad, FYI. 79 WRC plus. They've both just been bad for their new teams. So, what do we do here? Well, if we assume Auer will hold down first base, even though I'm not sure I want him to against righties, but let's just assume he is. I think we need a new second baseman, and then I think we need a new DH. And that can push maybe Pacheco, Leto, or Horvath to the minors, or maybe Pellegrin to the minors. And then the rest of these guys in bench roles, super utility roles. I think they all, so far, have proven they can be major league players, but we just need another big bat in this lineup. Pitching side of things, Just like last video, I have a Kevin Gossman injury to report. This one's not nearly as good. He tore his UCL. He's out for 10 months, effectively bringing his career as a Detroit Tiger to an end, because at 35, coming off that torn UCL, I don't see him coming back. Kyle Harrison, one of the dudes we got from the Giants in the offseason, was having a really nice season for us. He'd hopped into the rotation, made 4 starts. He'd thrown 44 innings this year with a 3.22 ERA, and then he tore his rotator cuff, which sucks because shoulder injuries suck. Don't know that he'll be the same, but hopefully he will be. I remember my Out of the Park 21 Orioles sim, I think in the minor leagues, Asa Lacy tore his rotator cuff, but then went on to make multiple All-Star teams. I think he won Rookie of the Year, so there's still hope. On the pitching side of things, so Alcantara and Dolander have both been good. Jackson Jobe has been a bit of a disappointment. Zach Thompson has been okay. His ERA is 4.48. The FIP and Sierra are lower, and he's been in and out of the rotation. And Wilmer Flores put together like a 10-appearance scoreless streak. So I gave him the starting job when Gossman went down. He hopped into the rotation. He had one really good start, one not as good start. His ERA is all the way down to 3.67. He's just trying to carve out a role for himself. Devin Williams has been great. Deoka, great. Beeks, great. Abreu's been fine. Lang has been awesome. Vasquez has been shaky. Nolan has barely pitched, but he's been bad. Wentz, who is one of our better pitching prospects, having a good rookie season and maybe belongs in the rotation over Thompson or Flores. But I think this, given the Gossman injury, given that Jackson Jobe is not having the year he had last year, although our WAR, based off of FIP, has him on pace for 3.4 R WAR. Well, he's pitching 32 more innings. That's way more. So, I mean, his FIP is pretty similar to last year. The ERA is much higher. Strikeouts are way down, walks are up, but his home runs are down and BABIP is up. But he's just not the same guy. I think we need another starter for sure. Bullpen, I kind of feel all right about. I think if we traded for a starter, that would probably dump Thompson or Flores to the bullpen, and then Nolan to the minor leagues. And I feel all right about that bullpen there. I don't know that we need a reliever. So what do we have out there? It's a good question. I'm going to kind of go through. I kind of glanced around, so I had an idea as I did this video, but I haven't looked in depth. So upcoming free agents, if we look at second baseman, one guy that jumps off the page to me is Mr. Brendan Lau. He is Lau, not Lowe, right? It's Nate Lowe and Brendan Lau. It's not Brendan Lowe and Nate Lau. The Tigers, or the Rays guys. Well, no longer both Rays guys, but you know what I mean. Anyways, he's out for another 3 weeks. He's been out since June 6th. Last year, he made the All-Star team last year with those numbers, right? 19, 23, 25. So he's made the All-Star team 2 years in this sim. Wow, 2023 is great. Then he was really not good in 24, and then great in 25, and then fine in 26, but is now hurt. His defense is not great at second base. You can see he's generally a negative zone rating player, but I think we can forgive that with the bat. I'm not all that I prefer him over Jake Cronenworth. I prefer him over Christian Arroyo, who broke out a bit. I prefer him over... Kim is out for 5 to 6 months now. Never mind. So I think my first target here is Brendan Lau. He's not on the trade block, but he is an upcoming free agent, and the Rays are 41-52. They're just kind of out of it here. So I figured we could start off with an offer on Brendan Lau. Now, what are we going to offer? I honestly do not know. I have a lot of outfield depth. I can't find room on AAA for Tommy Delandry, who has put up a 190 WRC plus and 4.8 WAR through 81 games in AA. Now, with that avoid Ks, does he have a future as a big league player? This says he has the talent to flourish as a right fielder. I'm not going to trade him, but if they came back, I don't know if I'd trade him for a rental, but if the right deal is out there, he'd be available. I think Jared Dickey is another guy who's available. Round 3 pick from 2024, left-handed hitting outfielder, which we have a lot of. Not a star caliber outfielder, and he struggled this year in AAA. So he's another guy that we could throw out there. I think, let's see, some more names here. No, not him. Jeffrey Hurd. This is a 4th-round pick from 2025, and he's hit pretty decently everywhere he's been. I don't think he has like a future as a star in the majors, but I think he's the kind of guy you could give up for a rental, and it'd be a decent offer. Only a fool would reject this offer. He's talking about us. So let's submit that, Lau for Hurd, and just see what they say. Then we also said we need a what else did we say we needed? Probably like a DH type bat, right? Because that way Auer can be here, Lau can come there. Honestly, I think I might trade or cut Albies to let Pacheco, Leto, all those guys be my bench bats instead of Ozzy Albies. So, but let's go find a starting pitcher first. Oh, we're on free agents. Let's get to the trade block. So we've got Jack Flaherty out here. Oh, he's a free agent after the year. He really hasn't been all that good, though. Robbie Ray is in the last year of his deal. That movement doesn't really interest me. Oh, wait, I'm on My Scout. Cool. Eduardo Rodriguez back on the trade block again, having a really nice season in San Diego. Good for you, Eduardo, but the team sucks again this year. JP Sears. No, Sears isn't a bad arm. Yeah, he's not like a top arm, though. Luis Severino, old friend of the program. He signed with the Cubs. Is that a 1-year deal? Yeah, my fans were disappointed when I let him go. FYI. Matt Boyd? Oops, that's not where I want to. Matt Boyd is in Baltimore. They signed him as a minor league free agent, and he's having another good season. Look at you go, Matt Boyd. Senga. He's arbitration eligible for $21 million. Well, it's been really good. Yeah, I don't know if there's a starter out there that I really want to go for yet. So we are at the All-Star break. Oh, actually, I didn't even look at like who made the All-Star team. Let's check that out real quick. Chase Dolander made it. Detroit. I hope I don't miss anybody. Just yell at me if I do. Justin Henry Malloy made it, one of 5 third basemen. Okay. Riley Green obviously made it. All right, so Green, Malloy, and Dolander made it. 4 catchers made it. Oh, Rutschman's hurt. I thought it said it had the star like he was hurt. All right. Let's see what they say on the Brendan Lau deal. And then I don't there's no pitcher out there. So they said no way. Oh, this is funny. Yeah, I don't know if I'm giving up Delandry for a rental. That's funny that's one of the guys they came back with though. I'm not giving up the number 68 prospect to Nacella. Riley Green, we're obviously not giving up. Let's make another offer. So Hunter Elliott is the guy I got from the Braves in the Ryan Kreidler trade, who, by the way, was having a breakout season last I saw. What's he at? Oh, he's cooled off. 112 WRC plus 3.5 WAR. Still a really nice season for him. But I think Hunter Elliott, he's my number 1 starter in AAA right now. I'm willing to give him up. I have enough going on that I can give him up. So let's just, like, pitching prospects and depth that I could give him up. Oh, there's still a big no way. Now, they did move a little closer. Yeah, I don't know if this trade's happening. These names that they're wanting. Like, I feel like for a rental, I feel like I'm giving up 2 decent prospects, a 4th-round pick from just a little while ago. Elliott was a 2nd-round pick in 2024 and is almost ready for the majors. I don't know if this is happening here, guys. Yeah, let's go back to the player trade. Check out the trade block. Second base. Brendan Lau is on the trade block. Is on the trade block now. He wasn't earlier. Jazz Chisholm is An interesting option that I think I could get him for cheap. He's a lefty bat, which I do not love. I'd much rather get a righty bat. Although Brandon Lau is a lefty bat too, I should point out. But he's such a good player, I was just kind of willing to overlook that. Christian Arroyo had a breakout season in 2023 and then hasn't done a lot since then. He did sign a big contract after that season, though. Tommy Edman hasn't been good in a while. Willie Adames is like fine. He's a really good fielder, but we're looking for offense here, and he hasn't been good offensively in a while. Cronenworth, yeah, I mean, Cronenworth seems like fine. It's not a lot of inspiring options. I did check in on Gunnar Henderson again before I started recording, and they were still like basically like laughed me out of the room, even with offering a pretty good package. Mets have anybody interesting? No. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I don't know. We might need to go forward a little bit here, see if the trade block updates a little bit, see if maybe some of the asking price on some guys come down. So go ahead and jump forward a little here and hope some more trades jump out at us. We're now up to July 26th. No trades yet. I have come across Zach Golof here, who is a young infielder for the A's. Now, he doesn't have any second base experience, which is a problem. Although, I really have no problem with people. I know I've seen this mentioned like on different threads, I guess, or comments. Like some people just, if a guy could be a decent second baseman, like just go into commissioner mode and give him some of that experience. Because it's not like Zach Golof would go out there and play second base in the majors and have no idea what he was doing with like a 20 out of 60, right? Like he'd be working on it and he would be adequate at it before he played it in a game. And I think, so I have no problem with people doing that, and I think I'd probably do it here if I traded for him. Like I'd probably just give him half or 60% of the positional experience. I do that sometimes with prospects in lieu of like tinkering with their forced start all the time. Like it's just an easier way to do it. He doesn't have a great personality, but I'm just surprised that he's available for trade because I would think that he's a player that they want to build around. He's just going to be arbitration eligible for the first time and make around $5 million this offseason. He was an all-star last year. He's putting up similar numbers this year. I think we've got to make an offer for him. I might honestly, people have gotten hot. Like look at Leto is up to a 117, Horvath 110, Pacheco 108, Mason Hours at 99. But Ozzie Albies now a positive 0.6 WAR, a 95 WRC plus. He's got a 166 WRC plus across 67 plate appearances in July. Now, do I fully trust this? No way. That's why I think bringing in Golof and maybe, having him probably play some DH, but as a backup plan in case Albies gets hurt, I think would be the plan here. But honestly, I don't really I could see them not actually being serious about trading him. I feel like it would take a lot, but maybe they're just over his attitude and want to get rid of him. So let's start with Hunter Elliott, one of our better pitching prospects who we got from Atlanta. And let's throw in one more okay, dude. This guy is always asked for. He's not always, I guess, but he has been asked for in trades. He's a 2025 round 11 pick, and he's already in AAA. He's not playing a ton. He's not a guy that I've ever controlled the promotions and demotions of. He's never played a lot anywhere. He's certainly shown a lot of improvement, even just this March, August. I mean, he's shown a lot of improvement. Maybe I'll hold off on him for now until I see what they want. Now Peyton Graham, I mean, he's playing part-time in AAA. I just don't know. I think the shine has kind of come off here, his prospect status. Maybe we would just offer Peyton Graham. No, we got to go 4 today here. We've also won a bunch of games in a row, by the way. I think we're in first place now. Look, we've won 8 in a row. What's our... So we're actually 2 games up on the Twins, who have gone 3-7 in their last 10 and lost 3 in a row. The Guardians are 3 games back. So that's a cool development. On base plus slugging, Green, then Malloy. Wow. Okay, so let's... Oh, that trade is gone? Come on. Come on. Where's our guy Golof? Why is he... What? Did I submit it? Oh, I submitted it. I didn't think I'd hit submit. Okay, cool. I was like, why can I not make an offer for him? Okay, so let's skip for today. Oh, so they said almost to that. Oh, that's not like a real almost. That's like a just give us one of these really awesome players almost. I don't really think I want to give up any of these guys. Brandon here is just too young and too good looking of a prospect. DeLandry, not with the year he's having, man. I mean, it makes some sense. Like, I'm not totally opposed to it. None of these other guys I'd even consider. But this tells me that we're, like, maybe in the ballpark of finding, like, 2 or 3 guys we could give them. So let's add in Hunter Elliott. Let's add in Elliott and see what they come back with. We did win. Oh, no, we lost 9-4. The win streak is over. Garcia went 2 for 4. Meadows went 2 for 2. Wilmer Flores had a bad start. It's really his first like really rough start since coming back to the rotation. Vasquez, who has just not been great this year, has me thinking about more trades. I don't know what I'm going to do with starting pitcher, honestly. There's not a lot of great guys out there on the trade block. There's not many guys who are upcoming free agents. I suppose I could always try to trade for a guy that has some years of team control left and kind of consider them the Gossman replacement on the team next year. There are some interesting arms out there. Andrew Haney, wow. Making $12.8 per year. Okay, good for you. Miguel Sano still out here playing, still hitting bombs. Yeah. He's cooled off a bit, but yeah, he's still a masher. That's great. Good for you, Miguel. All right. So what do we want to do here? Justin Steele. I think I'm still looking for a pitcher. I'm not sure that I want him. Kamar Rocker. That's fun. Mackenzie Gore is a Texas Ranger. So I'll poke around some more for pitchers. I don't want to skip forward too many days. Yeah, all right. Let me skip forward one more day, and we'll see what their answer is. See if they soften the ask. Oh, we lost again. Okay, so we've got some names in here I think we can work with, probably. Christian Santana is a guy we purchased from the independent leagues. He was actually like a real-life Tigers prospect that then for some reason wasn't on our roster. And he was pretty promising earlier in the sim. He's gone down a bit. How's he doing this year? He's having a decent year in AA. He's still only 22. He's not going anywhere. I'm not trading that guy. Not trading Wentz. Not trading him. I'm not too excited to trade Renee here, even though he is struggling in AA yet again this year. Jaden Stroman is looking like a really nice second-round pick. He's only 19. He's already in high A. That's a really well-developed 19-year-old. I mean, look at these numbers, too. Yeah, so I think I would do it for Christian Santana. So, I don't think we're giving up nothing, but to get a player back with multiple years of team control who could possibly solve our second base problem, and he's a right-handed hitter, I'm pretty happy with that. So we're giving up Hunter Elliott, who I think is a major league pitcher, and he's having a good year in AAA. We're giving up Peyton Graham, who the shine has kind of come off his prospect status since he worked his way up to AA and then struggled, and then he's just kind of been okay. This year, he is in AAA hitting really well, 457 BABIP, and he's cut his strikeouts way down, but he's not even playing every day. He's 25 now. There was a time when he was a really good-looking prospect, but at this point, I think we're going to make this trade and bring in Golof. Oh, the players are leery. They're upset that his reputation will follow him. Yes, maybe that's part of the reason they were willing to get rid of him. I don't know. Like, if he doesn't work out, we'll trade him after the season. But we have good veteran leaders in our clubs. He's not disruptive or anything. We've got 3 captains, 2 leaders. We're fine. We'll be all right. So I think Pacheco. No, not Pacheco. I think Pellegrin is going to go down. He's all the way down to a 73 WRC plus. Disappointing. I'd like to see success for him. This looks like it could be a really good player. He's 26 now. Just hasn't done the thing. So we'll bring Golof in, and I think we'll probably DH him. We'll get him some second base experience, and we'll keep a close eye on Ozzy Albies. But we'll continue to give like Pacheco and Leto and Horvath a lot of at-bats. So I'll go ahead and get the lineup set up here. I'll fish around for some pitching. We still do need a starter, but I think the second base, I think we added a bat that we needed who could then play second base if Albies cools off. I could still go out and add another bat, but I'm not sure we're going to need to. We're third in the AL in runs scored. I think another starter is our priority here, but let's see what comes of it over the last few days of the trade deadline. All right, we're now up to July 31st, 2026, trade deadline day. Zach Golof, acquired just a couple days ago. He's out for 5 to 6 weeks with a torn quadricep, which happened in his first game. Like a total legend, he went 3 for 3 with a double and a home run, an 856 WRC plus so far in his Tigers career across 3 plate appearances. OPS plus is only 781, so I don't know. He's got some work to do here, I think. But, yeah, he tore his quad. He's out 5 to 6 weeks, so he'll be back mid-September. So the bat we brought in to strengthen our lineup is now out. So now we need to enter the market for another bat. I've tried to do such a thing, and it hasn't really worked out yet. Pending. So I have... Oh, right. Well, this George Springer is going to try to trade for him because he's the best hitter on the market, and why not make a bunch of trades with the Jays again? But he is exercising his 10-5. We submitted a deal for Tyler O'Neill, who I'll show you him in a second, to the Padres, and they flat out rejected the first one. I submitted another one that I don't really think is any better, and I think they're probably going to say no. It seems like they want a lot for him. And then Crochet here to strengthen our bullpen, we might make a deal for. But let me just show you what we're working with. I think we need a DH bat probably. Like Ozzy Albies, we're just going to rock with at this point. He's been hot. We made a deal for a second baseman. He tore his quad in the first game. But where that leaves us is needing, I think, mainly a righty bat to DH. Malgeri here, I don't really want Malgeri or Malgeri, however you want to say it, tomato. I really don't want to entrust a starting job to him, given he's only had 9 Major League plate appearances. So I'd like to bring in a righty bat who could also probably DH some against righties as well in place of Pacheco, who I'd like more in like a super utility role. But let me show you just kind of what we're working with here. You can go to the player trade block. I don't need their pitching stats, actually. Let me go to the overall. So, yeah, George Springer, he's on a rehab assignment, and he's missed most of the year, but he's still a really good player. You can see his he's still putting up numbers here as long as he's healthy. And I thought he'd be an interesting guy to bring in, but he's exercising his 10-5. He's not interested in coming to Detroit to be on a winning team, so be it. You can lose the rest of the season in Toronto and then hit free agency. Tyler O'Neill, scouting-wise, not necessarily a player we're in love with. Let me just say real life, I love Tyler O'Neill. He hasn't been able to recreate his, 2021? Was that his magical year? Yeah, 2021 magic. Hasn't happened for him yet, but I love sluggers. The dude is jacked. He's got tattoos. Tyler O'Neill is my kind of ball player, and I hope in real life he becomes the guy he was in 2021 again. Now, in this sim, he has. 2025, all of a sudden, he got back into Tyler O'Neill, 2021 Tyler O'Neill. And now he's doing it again in 2026, but it seems like the Padres want a lot for him for a rental, so I'm not going to go pull out for him. But he's out there. He's a dude. Pitching side of things, I'd like to bring in a starter to bump Thompson or Flores out, like I've said, and send Nolan back to AAA. No Lynn, we could also call him. So I'd like to bring in a starter. Crochet is kind of like a backup. I think JP Sears is an interesting one from a scouting perspective. His numbers, they're just kind of fine. They're just kind of fine. But when we then I was just kind of looking by stats just to see, not pitcher scouting, sorry. I want pitching jammy jams. See, Casey Mize is here. He's made 2 starts for the Marlins after signing a minor league deal for them, and he's spent most of the year in the minors for the Marlins. He's now up. We're not going to trade for him. Jack Flaherty is here, and he's a free agent after the year. Jack Flaherty's been pretty good in this sim. Pretty good. He's not having a very good year, though. But his strikeout to walk rate is pretty good. His BABIP is just regressing to the mean here, I suppose, after being the league best BABIP, lowest BABIP last year, and now he's at 332. That probably has a lot to do with why his ERA is so far above his FIP and Sierra. He's also given up some long balls, which playing half your games in St. Louis is kind of a surprise because I think that's generally a pretty spacious, pitcher-friendly park. So we could try him. He's making a nice $6.9 million. I think he's a dude worth making an offer on, as well as Sears. Boyd, I'm not really interested in. Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray's interesting. He's making $25 million, and this is his last year. Oh wait, he would cost me $0 though. So we could get in the running for Robbie Ray. As always, don't love the low movement, but he's not a fly ball pitcher or anything, and he's been good the last few years. Now, what is Tampa doing? Are they out of it? Or are they doing Tampa? Yeah, Tampa's bad this year. So I think Ray or Flaherty would be an interesting guy to make an offer for. Let me see. Let's look at him here. Ray strikes out a bit more, walks a bit more dudes, fewer home runs. FIP-wise, Flaherty's at a 4.47, Ray's a 4.03. ERA is better by almost a run by Ray. Yeah, I think, especially this fastball and slider, I think I might make an offer for Ray. We've got the money, I think. At this point we have the money. So just who do we offer now? I mean, it depends on how really willing they are to get rid of him, right? That's the thing with the hard trade motos. You don't know until you submit. It's not like I can click a dude and they're like, yes. And then I'd be like, oh, I'm going to offer somebody way worse. So I generally do kind of try to come in with a lower offer first. And if they're insulted, they can, get over it. Here's a 12th round pick from 2024 who's in Double-A. Oh, he's only been there for 7 1/3. He's pitched some in Triple-A this year and pitched well. He pitched well, pretty decently in Double-A last year, but obviously this is the kind of guy I'd give up for a rental. So, and he's out hurt. What's his injury? Oh, he tore his rotator cuff. Let's. Okay, so my assistant GM, I don't always listen to him, but he basically says that's insulting, dude. We're not giving up that guy. Owen Diodati. Look at his outfield range of 30. So he's an 18th round pick from 2024 who has turned into a decent looking player for being that low of a pick. You can see a lot of green here. He's added a lot. But, weird. But he's never done anything. He's hardly ever had any plate appearances, for crying out loud. Man, look at, Yeah, his career high is 144 plate appearances. That's weird. When did he? And he's been getting better for a while. Let's see. Maybe they like Owen Diodati. Maybe he's a Razian type guy. My assistant GM still says it's a bad deal, but we're gonna submit it. So we've got the deals submitted for Ray and O'Neill. I think in the end, I would like to come back with a right-handed bat and a starter. So, this trade deadline day feature, honestly, like, it takes I'm just not familiar enough with it yet. And, like, when recording and, like, thinking and talking, like, while doing it, like, I just don't feel like it goes that well for me. I'm just not totally comfortable doing it yet because I haven't done it a bunch. So I'm not going to record that. So sorry. And I'll come back and kind of recap it. But I wanted to show you some of these offers, like the one for Golof from the A's, as well as these offers that we're making. So that way you're at least kind of up to speed on the process here that we're going through. And now I'll go ahead and do the trade deadline, and hopefully we can bring in an arm or a bat through that process. But that's where we're starting off with offers for Robbie Ray and an offer for Tyler O'Neill. Let's see how this trade deadline goes for us. So the trade deadline is over. It's July 31st still. The deadline is past whatever PM Eastern time it is now. And we acquired Robbie Ray and Tommy Edman. Edman was a bit of a swerve. There was just no reasonable price that we could get Tyler O'Neill for. And there was just, like, beyond Springer, like, we needed a right-handed bat. And there just wasn't a lot else out there. Edman was on the trade block and available for pretty cheap. Bonus, he can play second base, even though Albies is going to be our guy for now there. But he can jump in if need be. He's a switch hitter who is hitting lefties, or he's hitting lefties really well this season. Now he's got a 429 BABIP. Hopefully he can just keep riding that wave. But he's got a 134 WRC plus against lefties this year. So he can DH for us there, or like if his defensive profile like fits him, we can put him in. But he can take the place of Malgery at DH, and then we can swap him into a position if he plays a position better than somebody else, because he is a decent glove. Now, we also did bring in Robbie Ray. Also tried to then bring in a reliever, but it just didn't work out. So Robbie Ray is here. Oh, I guess you want to know what I gave up for Edman. So I gave up Cesar Calderon, who is a 24-year-old infield prospect. He was from the old regime. He was signed as international free agent in 2019. He just has never really done much of anything. So there he goes, away to Miami. We also gave up a pitcher. That pitcher's name is Abraham Landieta. And he's not this is not a terrible looking pitcher. He's never really done too much and never really pitched that many innings, but he made it all the way to AAA for me this year. He was another guy who was from the old regime. So two guys that I didn't sign, 25 and 24, pretty low risk, I think, in terms of bringing on Edman. Edman is a free agent after this year. He's making the league minimum. So what has he done on the sim? 2023, he was really good with the glove and carried an average bat, and then he was just terrible. And was he just let go by the Cards? Is that what happened? Yeah, so he became a free agent and then signed a minor league deal, and then eventually made it up with the Marlins and then netted them to minor league players. So good for the Marlins. Way to go. So then we traded for Robbie Ray, who we've kind of already looked at here. Decent pitcher, decent numbers, making a whole lot of money. And for him, we traded three guys. The main guy was Adonis Velez, who I drafted in the 8th round in 2024, so not that long ago. He was a high school player with the 65 infield range. And, at just 20, he's got room to grow. This is the guy they were most interested in. He was an A-ball for me, not really doing a lot. And he had a good 2025 in rookie ball. And then it's been an A-ball now for like 350 plate appearances almost and not done a lot. He is still just 20, though. He can play defense well. So a decent get for a pitcher on an expiring deal. He was the headliner. We also gave up Sam Blancato, who I think I showed you before, but he's 17th round pick from 2024. Looks like work ethic and intelligence is good, so he could always pop off for a little while. He's hit well, but just never really had a lot of playing time. And then the third guy in the deal was Wilmer Fenelon, and he is a pitcher who was from the old regime as well. And he, just hasn't pitched a lot. He never really got a lot of playing time. He's 23, so he will go to the Rays, and they'll turn him into some sort of like bulk reliever stud, as the Rays do. But what does this do to our team? So I think Malgeri can go back down to AAA, and then I think we can send Nolan back down. And we'll put Flores back in a middle relief role. Long relief. We'll avoid high leverage, because even though he's been good since he came back up, I'm not sure we fully trust him. And then we'll bring in Robbie Ray. We'll bring in Tommy Edman. So Ray will go in, I think probably is like our number 3. Not that the order matters that much until you get to the postseason. But yeah, I mean, unless Jackson Jobe picks it up, I think I'm more comfortable with Ray at this point. And on this side of things, certainly against lefties, Edman will come into the lineup. He's probably a better defender than Ozzie Albies. Yeah, he is. He's got much better range. Oh, actually, never mind. It's only 5 better range. And they're like pretty similar. What's Edman done with the glove this year zone rating wise? Oh, he's playing shortstop for them. Oh, gross. Hasn't been that great defensively for them. I think we'll leave Ozzie Albies in, because he's been, well, neither of them are that great. Yeah, let's just leave it like this for now. Edman and Albies being switch hitters here. So let's put Made up. Yeah, cool. We'll do that, and then we'll also give Edman some time as the DH against righties. If he can, if he believes in himself enough, he can have that role. We'll put Edman in against lefties here too. We'll start him like once a week. Where else can he play decently? He could play at third base. We don't need third base. Shortstop. Yeah, I mean, we can put him in just like as filler, like on the depth chart, but he's not actually going to play. I don't think we really need his bat here. Horvath and Auer have it locked down. I don't think we need his bat in the outfield here, because Pacheco and Leto have it locked down. I am, by the way, now I'm going to start Riley Green in center field against lefties. Bench Parker Meadows, who just hasn't been that good this year. Matt Horvath will come in and hit against in left field against lefties. So Riley Green is there. So we've got Tommy Edman, which is, to be honest, a consolation prize. He's depth at second base. He's hit lefties really well this year. So hopefully that works out for us, but not a pickup that I'm like super amped about. But, hopefully it's like an under the radar, smart pickup, etc. Robbie Ray, totally cool with him. Totally cool with this guy. I think he could be a really good starter. He could also be a guy who gets victimized by the long ball. But with this fastball slider combo, good stuff, good control. We needed a starter, and I think he was the best out there, and hopefully he's going to be able to find his, what form? His 2022 form, right? Like, if he can pitch like half of that dude, we're on board. He's actually, look, I mean, he's been really solid throughout this sim. He's been a really solid major league pitcher throughout this sim. This is a good acquisition for us. Hopefully it works out. It lengthens our rotation with the injuries to Gossman and Harrison. So we're 63-41. It's July 31st. We're in pretty decent shape for the postseason. We're winning the division, and we're up by 3.5 over the Twins, who are up by 4.5. We're like 8 games-ish comfort over the last wild card spot, right? So it would take a pretty serious collapse, but hopefully we improve the team enough. Pretty serious collapse and not make the postseason, I should say. But hopefully we've improved the team enough to make a good run this year. We've got 63 wins. It's the second most in baseball, and we just made 2 acquisitions. And when Golof comes back, we've made 3 acquisitions. So Thank you guys for watching, and we'll talk to you in the next episode where we wrap up this season.